Welcome to Diaspora's Career Challenges, where we dive into the questions every diaspora and immigrant loves to hear. Where are you really from? And the classic, what's that accent? Because clearly your name and accent are far more important than your qualifications, right? I am Sweta Regmi, award-winning career strategist and CEO of Teach and Do, with an accent that somehow always manages to steal the spotlight. On this podcast, we will explore the impossible quest of fitting in. From not from here, not from there, to sure, I'll blend in. We'll tackle the joys of code switching, the myth of cultural fit, and why people can never, ever pronounce your name, but somehow they can nail Mikhail Gorbachev every time. If you're done explaining where you're from or why your background makes you too much and not enough for others, well, buckle up. You're in the right place. Let's get into it. So I saw this tweet the other day. I was blown away by it. The guy tweeted about how women said to her friend, she does not press 1 for English when calling the customer service in US. And why? Because she does not want to speak to someone with an Indian accent. Instead, she presses 2 for Spanish, then says, oops, I meant English, because those reps are most likely to sound quote unquote normal. And I was like, oh no, we need to talk about this. Welcome to accent shopping, where people don't want the help. They want help in a voice that makes them feel comfortable, even if that comfort is not bias in disguise. The oops, wrong button trick. Let's break it down. This is not about language. It's not even about comprehension. It's about the idea that certain accents are less professional and hard to understand, or just less than. People are out here pressing buttons on phone trees like it's a game show, hoping to skip past voices that sound too immigrant-y. But here's a plot twist. Those Spanish line reps or French line reps in Canada, still multilingual, still born and raised in your city, still probably more qualified than Brad, who's been coasting since 2009. But people have already made up their mind, because what they're really doing is shopping for accents that match their idea of who belongs where. Real calls and real biases out here. I've heard the wildest things on customer service calls. Once, when I was working the contact center, I was leading a team. The guy came in with the English name and he said, I wanted to speak to someone Canadian. The call taker was Indian, with the Indian name, of course, with the Indian accent. I used to work in bank, top bank. And they transferred the call to other one that went to Muhammad, who was Pakistani guy. So Muhammad had slight accent, but still brown. Now the caller's frustrated, like they were scrolling through Netflix for the right voice. And then he asked, I want to talk to someone Canadian again. Then the call was passed to the manager. And her name was Indian name, but she was born and brought up here in Canada. But still, the guy insisted he wanted someone with the English name with the Canadian accent. You know what happened to that guy later on? They flagged the account and they closed the account because he was simply being racist. Was he shopping for accent back then? I don't know. See, accent is not the issue here. Bias is. Because let's be real, if someone had British accent, and fumbled half their sentences, people would still say, wow, so classy. If it's a Nigerian accent or South Asian one, suddenly it's, can I speak to someone else? Bias hits entry level first. That's what I've seen and lived it. And here's what it gets even worse. These call center reps, they're often in entry level jobs, making just above minimum wage, but they're taking all the bullets. People don't talk this way to CEOs and VPs. They don't press 2 to avoid the VP with an accent. Nope. The moment someone has a fancy title or stock options, their accent becomes global experience and diverse leadership. But when you are answering phones for minimum wage, suddenly your voice is the problem. Here's the part that people love to forget. Those jobs you think immigrant took, it was not Raj in customer service who did that. It was Brad from Ohio or Toronto, Jeff from Canada, who outsourced your entire department to save cost. You think you lost your job to someone with an accent? No, my friend. You lost your job because of someone with an MBA and the bonus clause. You know what irony is? Now they are using AI to fix what? Accent. And if all of this wasn't ridiculous enough, some companies are now using AI to change their workers' voices. Mask over accent. Go Google it if you don't trust me. Yep, AI is literally being used to flatten out the accents. Not for accessibility at all, not for clarity, but to make customer feel more comfortable. Let's just call what it is. Digital whitewashing. It's not about being understood. It's about sounding the way customers want service workers to sound, which usually means not like your parents, not like your neighbor, and definitely not like the person who actually helped you last time. If you're pressing 2, ask why. If you're pressing 2 for French or Spanish, and then faking a slip up just to skip the wrong kind of English, maybe the question is not which rep do I want? Maybe it's why does this voice make me so uncomfortable in the first place? Because if you can't stand the accent of the person taking your call, but if you're fine with Jeff, the billionaire CEO who laid off your whole entire team to cut the cost, to outsource, maybe the issue is not the rep. Maybe it's the conditioning. So when we're talking about accent shopping, we're not even hiding it anymore. I mean, just like the tweet, it was a million hit I saw. You're not confused, you're accent shopping. This is the real reason people accidentally press the wrong button in the call center, apparently. It's not about languages. It's about who sounds convenient for you, who sounds safe. So yeah, welcome to accent shopping, where you can choose your customer service by vibe, not by skill. Is it bias or comfort you're looking for? Now let's address the classic defense here. It's not bias, I just can't understand. Okay, but why is it that people have no trouble with the thick Scottish accent or the sudden drawl so strong it needs subtitles? That's charming, but give them the English from the third world country or infused English and suddenly it's sorry, can I speak to someone else? This is not about understanding. It's about social programming. You're not confused. You're not just used to hearing authority in those voices because we never let those voices read the news or run the meetings. Action shopping is not cute. It's the audible version of a hiring biases. It silences the real people. So instead of pressing buttons to avoid discomfort, maybe it's time we press for change. because inclusion is not just about who is at the table, it's about whose voice is allowed to speak at it. And action shopping is not clever, it's coded. It's a part of the same biases that says you sound like you don't belong here, even when here is literally their job. So next time you catch yourself judging someone's professionalism based on how they sound, ask yourself, would you feel the same if they were in the boardroom instead of a call center? Because the truth is, accent does not equal ability. Bias equals bias. And we all need to stop shopping for comfort and start listening to the people as they are. So you've been told you speak good English as a compliment. You've had to code switch for change your accent at work. You're part of immigrant diaspora or BIPOC community. You worked in the customer service, tech support, or call center. It's funny, it's uncomfortable, it's real, and it's time to talk about it. I hear you, I can relate to it, and I'm fighting back for you. And that's the wrap for today's episode, Diaspora's Career Challenges, where blending in is overrated and fitting in to someone else's mold is so last season. If you love this sarcasm, don't forget to subscribe, share, and I'd really appreciate your review. I'm here to remind you that you're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. Your accent is still a mystery to some. Who cares? So the next time someone asks, "Where's that accent from?" just smile and say, "Oh, don't worry. It's called unique. You'll get used to it." Where can you connect with me? I'm all over on social media. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And I do have a free resources for job search and career under teachanddo.com/free resources. Can't wait for you to come in and join me next week.